Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. You know, with everything going on yesterday, I totally forgot about the woman that was following Ava, that was there listening in on her conversations, on the conversation she was having with Kevin. So I forgot about that. It does happen today in this episode, same woman. But before I get to that, this is something that Brock TV said a couple years ago when he had the DA that was supposed to be quote-unquote taking down Sonny. He was talking about how the cast is too big. There's too many people. And this is something that's been vexing me for quite a while. Most of the time I just kind of ignore it, especially when the episode's good, but for example, Sasha and Brandon. Now, if you are rooting for this couple, you like seeing this couple together, you think they're cute, all that good stuff, cool. And you're definitely going to get, you're definitely going to sit there and enjoy the scene. Watching their scene, I was just like, I mean, it's nice, but like, I also felt like they were both just a giant waste of time. I literally felt like they were a waste of time. I felt like they were just there to run down the clock. And that's something that I really can't stand. I can't stand when you have characters just there and just kind of just floundering around just for the sake of floundering around. Like, alright, we're just going to put those two there. They did their looked at the ultrasonic test and everything like that to see their baby. Okay, cool. Wait, that's it? I can't stand time wasters. And I'm gonna be honest, I was just annoyed their entire scene. I was so annoyed. Don't get me wrong, I like Sasha and I like Brandon. I just felt like they were a giant waste of time. Hell, even a conversation in the beginning with Ava and Portia, I was just like, I don't know, I wasn't really that interested in it. And to be honest, here's the thing, when Portia was there talking to Ava, she was like, in the beginning, when I saw you, I kind of came at you a little sideways, and I was really jealous of you and Trina's relationship, but now I'm glad that, you two got each other, that you're there for my daughter and stuff. And I'm like, that sounded all well and good. There was just one little problem with that. I didn't hear, I'm sorry. I didn't hear an apology. In any language, I didn't hear 1 ounce of, hey, listen, when we first met, I was a little kind of rude to you. I'm sorry about that. Nope, not at all. I don't know if we're ever actually going to get, it's really sad at this point. Would it even really matter? Would it even really matter? As far as her apologizing to Ava for how nasty she was to her. I mean, I felt like if we were going to do it, this was the scene to do it. But, no, we're not going to do that for some odd reason. Nope, we're not going to do that. So, they talked for a little bit. The conversation ended. I was so glad. I know she was there talking about, I want to make sure that, y'all two don't make the same mistakes that me and me and my daughter made. And I'm like, I get the sentiments. I get where you're trying to go with this. But Ava, you were really nasty and cruel to your own daughter. I don't really understand how you could really compare the two, except for loss of time, and I get that, but he, sure, whatever. Um, she gets downstairs. Now, this whole time, throughout this episode, you have this woman with dark hair that just keeps watching her like a damn creep. So when she gets downstairs, her car's on fire. Her damn car is on fire. When the fire department's done, you know, they tell her about it and they show her a name badge and she nearly faints. She gets back upstairs and you know, she's talking to Portia for a little bit. She shows her the name badge. She also talks to Nicholas. Now Nicholas, this is where I don't know how to feel about the way this storyline is going. I don't know if I should be pissed off. I don't know if I should be pleasantly surprised. I don't know if I should just be like, oh, cool, exciting twists and the turns and all that good stuff. Now, Nicholas, at some point, gets Spencer alone. He walks up to him with a mask. He scares Spencer. Spencer's like, I'll give you all my money. Don't hurt me, yada, yada, yada. Which, by the way, you know, all that money he has, and he didn't spend an ounce of it on any sort of self-defense classes at all. Just okay. So Nicholas, because you know he's a guy in a mask, whatever, stabs Spencer with a fake knife, and he gets so scared that he's lying on the ground. He thinks he got stabbed, and when Trina comes to him or whatever, he wakes up or whatever. I guess must have fainted or something. He wakes up and he's like, "Oh, I'm stabbed. There's no blood. How did that happen?" I'm like, bro, I don't know how to take this. Listen, I've never been stabbed. I've never been in that situation, and I understand that fear, adrenaline can play tricks on you. But there's a part of me that's just like, how do you not know that you got stabbed? How's that possible? You just laid on the ground and like just okay. I'm finding out that seemed a little hard to believe, but okay, sure. Let's just keep going. He gets downstairs. The security guard is worried about Jocelyn and everything like that. And so at some point they all meet up along with Laura and Kevin. They come in, and you know, Spencer's like freaking out. He's like, oh, you know, Ryan did this. What's going on? He's flipping out. He's just panicked. And then Nicholas just walks up casually. I think he takes off the mask. And he's like, yeah, I did this. So now at this point, everybody in the room is practically about to flip out on him. And this is when he's like, yo, listen, I have proof that, you know, you stalked Ava and all this other stuff. So he starts going with the accusations. I think at some point, Jocelyn and Cam leave. Because at this point, everyone is just furious with Nicholas. He's like, I got all this proof, you know, that you did this to Ava. He starts talking about it. Now, at some point, even Trina's like, you know what, listen, you don't even like Ava. You know? The fake blood, everything like that. Like, he's literally like, I mean, you know, she's convinced that, he did this. So that they're going back and forth or whatever. You know, Laura is furious with him. Nicholas gets a call from Ava. And Ava's like, you know, somebody set my car on fire. The look on his face, he's like, oh. Because he already knows at this point, everybody in the room's already furious at him. Okay? And now there's an attack on Ava when he's standing right in front of you. So now at this point, you know, the mother's like, I'm such ashamed of you, and yada, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And this is the part where I don't know how to feel. Because the way Spencer was in there talking and everything like that, he made it seem like he was a stalker. Okay? Everything pointed to him, made him seem like he was a stalker. And if that was enough, the way he was acting made him seem like he was a stalker. But now you have this woman, this brunette woman, that's walking around, doing all this stuff, and now it's like the story's trying to make it seem like, well, maybe Spencer isn't the stalker. Maybe it's the brunette woman. So I'm just like, I don't know exactly how to feel, because I feel like, especially since GH did this whole reboot on Nicholas not knowing any, about how everyone doesn't know about Nicholas and his whole involvement with Hayden shooting. I'm like, is this another one of those reboots that they did? That you just felt like, alright, well, enough time has passed, people may not remember everything, we can sit there and switch it up, and make it seem like Spencer isn't the one that's behind this whole stalking thing. So I don't know exactly how to feel about that. I really don't. Jax, I have no words for him at this point. I really don't. I really don't. And of course, and I said this yesterday, that Jax is going to sit there and try to explain why he did what he did. Talking about he's doing it all for his daughter. But the things he was sitting there saying, when Carly was like, so what was going to happen? He was going to sit there and wind up, what? Blackmailing me? Taking it to the cops or whatever? And Jax was like, well, it wouldn't have got that far. And he's trying to use all these BS reasons of why he tried to blackmail, like why he recorded Carly's conversation. And all it came down to is the fact that, like, Carly's like, you know what? Now I have a smaller circle of friends I can trust. Because you broke that. I get what Jax was trying to do. I really, really do. I get how important Jocelyn is to him. And he'll break any rule, sink any lower, whatever he has to do to protect and save his daughter. I get that. I don't like it. Okay, I still think that he's a scumbag for what he did. But I understand why he did what he did. I don't like it. And he's a scumbag in my eyes. But I understand why he went to that type of extreme. So they're arguing. Jason was talking about the meeting and everything like that with, I guess, Brick or something. And he comes to the door or whatever. He comes in the room. And, Carly's like, yo, dude actually try to, like, record me. He tried to, like, set me up. Now, in the real world, if that guy was not, the father of Jocelyn, that man would have got his legs broken. Okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. His legs would have been broken. Some of his fingers would have been missing. I mean, it wouldn't have ended well for him. But with that being said, Jax, clearly didn't understand just how screwed up, how screwed up it was that he tried to do. And just, like, how bad it was that he did that. And he says something, he walks off. And Jason's able to make sure that Jax's phone is wiped, just in case she said anything that might be considered incriminating. Because at this point, you just don't know with Jax. Jax will just do anything at this point. It doesn't really matter. He'll sink any. He'll just do anything. This is point blank. He'll do anything, no matter how low it is. He'll do it. He'll do it in the name of quote unquote protecting his daughter. Got the meeting or whatever that she can't go to because she gets a call from Tony, I guess one of the security guards, I guess that's his name. So she can't go. So Jason has to then go by himself. And now I'm sitting there looking at this like, you y'all was both supposed to go there to be a unity of power. You know, to make sure there's no divisions and everything like that. And now he's going by himself. Okay. It's gonna be interesting how that works out. You know, I really feel like, as I was sitting there thinking about it, like the whole maybe it's not Spencer, maybe it's this other woman. I feel in some sort of way it was clever. Yeah, I really had to sit there and think about this. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the stuff that, you know, he heard about, like the cockroach and everything like that, and the stalker, you know, doing all this stuff, you know, that's stuff that he heard about. Didn't mean he actually did it. Like, he doesn't like Ava, but, you know, there's no actual proof that he did those things. And the only time that we saw, like, a glimmer of it was with the pig's blood. When he walked out and he had the shoes and everything like that. But other than that, you know, I think it's an interesting twist. Pissed me off a little bit, but I'm also kind of intrigued to see how they're going to sit there and spin this around. Sam and Dante. So yeah, when Dante leaves, Sam gets a call from Drew. Now, at first, she's like, you know, Drew's dead, you know, who are you, you know, yada, yada, yada. But then, you know, he's trying to sit there and talk to her, and she's trying to find out where Drew is, and the phone hangs up. So she talks to Dante, and she's like, you know, she got a call from Drew, or somebody who's pretending to be Drew. Now, in the beginning of it, she was like, well, you know, Drew's dead, he can't be alive, yada, yada, yada. Just the usual BS. Which, I'm not going to lie, kind of annoyed me a little bit. But then, Sam actually kind of grew a brain. Sam grew a brain. Because Sam says something that I just didn't expect. Like something with logic. She was like, maybe it might be Drew because they never recover a body. I was just like, oh, I'm glad I actually sat out for that one. She just actually spoke some logic. Like, you know, of course, Dante tried to trace the call. Nothing, of course. Now, you do see on the other side of it, you know, this guy is putting Drew back to his cell. You see Cameron Madison all like, you know, like disheveled or whatever with the beard and everything. And I'm like, there's a part of me that's excited because I'm like, alright, this is going to be really interesting. There's another part of me that's just like, Cameron, you better not this up. I was like, Cameron, you better not mess this up. Because if you blow this, it's just not going to end well. That's not a threat. It's just, I just want it to work out. Because I'm like, Cameron, you're going to be getting an angry letter from me. I will do it. So I'm excited. I'm a bit nervous. So yeah, it should be interesting. I think that's about it. I probably missed something, but I think that's pretty much about it. It was actually a decent episode. I actually did like this episode. If they if they would have took away the Sasha and Brando stuff, it would have been a lot better. I felt like that was just totally unnecessary. I felt like it was a giant, utter waste of time. They could have put them in there. And then probably added like the mother and kind of finished that whole thing. But like they just put them in there for just a giant waste of time for me. I mean, listen, if you like those two, those couples or whatever, that's cool. I was just like, for me, it was pointless. It was pointless. And of course, you know, they don't want to know what the sex is. Listen, I get it. Sometimes you don't want to know. But can I just at least, if you do get somebody else and they are pregnant, can somebody just sit there and say, I want to know what your gender is? So this way I can start planning. Because, you know, I don't want everything unisex. I kind of want to put it either pink or blue. Not this, oh, well, we don't want to know. It's going to be a surprise. I'm not trying to do all that. Anyway, I think that's about it. If I missed anything, please write it down in the comment section below. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe, everyone, and I will see you in the next video.